Isn't it amazing what a couple of weeks can do in football? I'm not even slightly deluded when I say that Manchester United are in the hunt for the Champions League spots for next season. Something is happening, momentum-wise, and we need to talk about it because Ruben Amorim's United are finally, genuinely, on the march in the right direction. Well, ladies and gents, it looks like I'm going Old Trafford every single week. If I'm the good luck charm, I'm taking that. But I want to do this video to have a conversation about what's happened in these last few weeks. It's amazing how things can change. I mentioned it in the intro. But United in Champions League football next season, people were laughing at Omar Barada for saying that was the ambition at one point. Not so much anymore. Because we look at the start of the season for Man United, I'll remind you how hard it was. We had statistically the hardest run out of any team at the beginning of the season. And that interview with Omar Barada, with Andy Mitten in United We Stand, where he said the ambition was to get into the top 6. It felt like a pipe dream. And if you look at the table after game week 6, look where Manchester United were. Down in 14th, 7 points. 8 points behind Liverpool. But my, how that has changed. I want to say a big thanks here to BetterHelp for continuing to be a paid partner here on United People's TV. I've already spoken to you more than one occasion with quite vulnerable videos, really, about how I needed to get therapy, how it helped me. Now, BetterHelp is there to help you. It's a platform designed to connect therapists with those who are looking for help. You just answer a few questions and it will pair you. There's over 7,000 reviews, 4.5 on Trustpilot. If the first therapist doesn't work, and it doesn't always work, all right? It's not a sort of an out of the tin, it works for everybody. You speak to somebody else. That's what I did a couple of times until you find the right person, and you'll know that right therapist when you find them. Now, if you use the link in the description, betterhelp.com/United People's TV, you get 10% off. I'd honestly encourage you to try it. If you are thinking that you would like somebody to speak to, BetterHelp can help you with that. I know the power of therapy. I know how much it can help, and I also know how much speaking out can help. So make sure you do get involved if you want to. The link is in the description, and it might be an introduction for you. And this weekend's results that we just had there, right, off the back of Sunderland and Liverpool, and I'll speak about both of those, it was this game weekend where the shift felt genuine. Not only did we beat Brighton, the same Brighton who we've lost to in 6 out of our last 7 Premier League games, but City, Liverpool and Chelsea all lost on the same weekend for the first time in the Premier League since 2015. And the Premier League table looks like this now. All right? Manchester United are right there. Same points as City, 1 point ahead of Liverpool. Sure, we're 6 points behind Arsenal, but we're not looking there. Our focus and ambition was the top 6 this season. And Ruben Amorim deserves a lot of credit. I'm going to split this part into 2. I'm going to focus on the players first and then speak about Ruben. Because the players have been delivering. Brian Mbeumo, no player has scored more. Well, no player has more goal contributions than Mbeumo in October. And 5 out of our last 7 goals that we've scored during this run have been scored by Cunha, Šeško and Mbeumo. Our new signings are delivering. And, by the way, Seny Lamons made his debut in that game against Sunderland. And that's absolutely no coincidence that we've won our first 3 games in succession in the league under Ruben Amorim when we've got a new goalkeeper in. But I would say more importantly than that is Ruben Amorim himself. Because it was after that Brentford game where I did the video and I titled it, "I'm sorry, Ruben Amorim." Because I was. But my position as a fan at that point, I had lost faith in Ruben Amorim's ability to create genuine momentum at this club. Because after that Brentford game, with everything that I saw and the way that we played in that last 25 minutes, and then Mason Mount ended up being left wing back, it just felt like we're trying, but we're repeating the same things, and nothing is really shifting or tweaking, and nothing is changing, and the results won't come. What's followed are 3 games where tweaks have happened. Now, that Sunderland game, it was Seny Lamons' debut. We played more direct. Reggie Lebris, the Sunderland manager, complained about it after the game. We dominated them down that right-hand side. But going direct, it worked. It made United... That game against Sunderland was the most comfortable game that we've had in the league this season. And it just felt like a routine sort of win. It was lovely. And then what happened? At Anfield, we went with a very specific game plan and style geared just for Liverpool. Give the ball to Van Dijk and Konate, go long, in fact, go over long so that we can win the second balls. And we won the second balls and we scored from winning the second ball within the first minute. That game plan It was a tweak. It was a shift. And it worked. And United, of course, Maguire got the late winner. And United went to the end. We didn't lose our heads after conceding the equaliser against Liverpool, which I thought we would. And then on top of that, that game against Brighton was very different to those two games against Sunderland and Liverpool, where I think we kind of really had a game plan set out specifically for those oppositions. We just went against Brighton and we just outplayed them. We did have a game plan, but it was more of the end game plan. I think that's what Ruben Amorim wants his Manchester United to be week in, week out. That team that dominates, that team that scores 2 in the first half, that team that wins the ball high up the pitch. I believe we did that for 3, maybe 4, in fact, all of them really. Of the goals that we scored against Brighton was because we pressed them and we were aggressive in our defending. We were aggressive in our attackers coming back, Cunha and Mbeumo defending with the team. So Ruben Amorim deserves a lot of praise because I think the shifts came after Brentford when I didn't expect it. And that's created this momentum that we now have. And what I genuinely think, the conversation is there to be held about the Champions League spots next season. That is the ambition for United. Now, as walking down the stairs in the Stretford End, you can hear like 21. Everyone's enjoying themselves. I don't think United are going to be going on a title charge this season. I think Arsenal are going to stink their way to a title. But if we're being completely honest, when it comes to Arsenal, we've always criticised them for, being Arsenal, dropping points, bottling. They found a formula, and it's working for them. They've only conceded 3. They've got a goal difference of 13. They're a bit stinky, but it's working for them. And it's in a season where City are not as badly as they were as last season, but they just lost to Villa. Liverpool, all over the shop. Liverpool look like mid-Ten Hag United. Whereas us, we can focus on the Champions League. We can focus on getting in there. And if you had asked me that this point here. No, not that point there. Where is it? Where's that earlier table? That one there. If you had asked me that at this point, it would have felt extremely distant. But after 3 wins, it doesn't feel distant. It feels very much within grasp. And United have got to build on this. We've now got Forest away. We've got Spurs away. 2 games which they could be difficult, but we could win both of them. If you could win both of them, go into the international break with 5 wins on the spin. Create all those small wins, 1 game at a time. And we've done that 3 times in a row. Champions League football is very much a possibility. It could really happen. And that should be what's driving these players. 1 game at a time. It feels like momentum really is in this team now. Now, Forest is next. Could it be undone if we play terrible against Forest? Well, of course. But the players have been delivering. I'm enjoying what I'm watching.